Hi everybody, this is Tor Storley and I am back with another video. Okay, in this video we're getting ready to set up our new project, the Jaffle DuckDB project in VSCode. So the way I do it is I set up a new folder under my desktop here, and as you can see I called it DuckDB-dbt. I have another folder that I already created that I will be using going through some of the stuff. So I just want this for the purpose of showing you how to install this stuff. So we got this folder, and the first thing we want to do then is we want to set up a way of creating the VS project. Okay, so this is the folder we need, and I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to open up VS Code. Okay, so here is VS Code, and what I want to do now is I want to go in and I want to say open folder. So I'm going to paste this folder name in. So here is a brand new folder, nothing in it. Okay. And what I want to do now is I want to go and open up a terminal, and I want to change the terminal to be a PowerShell terminal. All right. So here we are ready to go in this folder. So what's going to happen is I'm going to clone the GitHub repository and I'm going to bring it down here. The first thing you want to do then is you want to git clone it. So I'm going to paste that in, and you can see git clone, and it's going against that Jaffle shop duckdb git. So let's run that, and as you can see it did it, and hopefully we got something over here which is a new folder, and you can see a lot of the stuff was transferred over here. So far so good. So let's minimize that again. The next thing we want to do is we want to navigate into that particular folder. So let me do that. And now I'm in that folder where I want to be, so I can do the rest of it. So the first thing I want to do, I want to create a new venv, meaning a virtual environment. So I can do it this way. And it's going to go ahead and is activating it. Okay, one problem here. I didn't activate my Python. So let me do that. Control-Shift-P. I want to select an interpreter. I want to use this 3.13.7 Vana. So let's select that one. And once that's loaded up, then I should be able to run that command again. So let us try that one more time and see if it actually will work this time. Okay, so it did something. All right, it looks like it did create this environment. So let's see if it actually is there. Let me navigate into it. Now in PowerShell, you use this venv /script/activate. And sure enough, you can see it here. It's prefixed with this parenthesis venv, and that means you're inside there. Now we can actually install some stuff. Now you could use UV here, but I'm just going to follow the script that was given to us by the DBT labs from the GitHub repository. So I'm going to paste this in. I'm going to install and upgrade to pip first. All right, since I'm going to be running pip, and it's going ahead and doing this. And let's wait till it's done like this. There's a requirements text file inside this project. So if you look at it, and if you scroll down, you can see it right here. It has all this references to these different libraries, etc., etc. So I'm just going to run it. Okay, so let me go back and view the terminal again. Right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply copy that execute of that requirements text file like this. So I do a pip install r requirement text. So it's going to run for a little bit here and install all this stuff. So I'm just going to let it run, and then I'll still it. Okay, so it looks like it finished, and it did a lot of work here, as you can see. And it also installed all this stuff that you're going to need in order to run the DBT. The DBT core, the DBT for DuckDB, etc., etc. All right, so right here now, we got that. Now what we can do, we can clean this out a little bit, clear the terminal. And the next thing I want to do, I want to just test out and make sure this project is actually working. And in order to do that, you can run some DBT commands. So the first one I want to run is one that builds the project. All right, so I'm just going to run it here, dbt space build. And I'm running it, and it's going to go ahead and try to run through the whole project and set it up and compile it, etc., etc. So I'll hold off till it's done. All right, it took a while because I realized that I have this ongoing problem with my antivirus, that it sees an executable, it interfering by stopping and checking it and all that stuff. But it did run, so it went through here. And as you can see, it found 5 models, 3 seeds, which is those 3 CSV files, and 20 data tests. We'll get back to all this later. And all of the macros, including the system macros. So that's why there's so many of them. So there was 5 models in total here. And it gives you some good log information. And by the way, this log will be available in the logs folder. And if you look here, you can see you run, it was okay. It tells you exactly what it did, each step it took. And then towards the end, you can see it completed successfully and done, okay? So that's how you build it. The next thing I want to do is I want to show you another command, and we'll talk more about this in the different sections. But you can also create documentation. So I can document this whole project by using this command, dbt docs generate. And when I do, it's going to run through it, and it's going to build JSON files that's going to hold all the connection information and information about each model, etc., etc. So as you can see, it's writing it to this target catalog JSON file. And if you recall, target is kind of where it compiles things. It's like the final place where it puts out the stuff that has created. So right there, it's finished. Now, what does it look like? Well, we don't necessarily want to read it from a JSON file, but you could go to this target folder, and if you have it here, you can see, if you scroll up, you can see there's your target folder, and you have like a compiled section, and then you have some compiled finished SQL statements, meaning they're totally written out, and you have models, you have seeds, etc., etc. Now, we'll get back to this in more detail later. But what I want to do is I want to see what it looks like in a browser. You can do that by typing in this command, dbt docs serve. So when I hit enter now, it's going to generate the documentation, and it's going to spin up a browser, and you can manipulate this documentation, and I'll show you some changes you can make to this. But notice you have a project, you have a database. Here's the database, and you can drill into it. Here's the customers table, and it gives you description about the customers, the orders. So it basically spins it out like that. The project, you can all see the project here, the models, here's the customer model, and it shows you what is dependent on, details, the columns, the reference by, and we'll look at this a little bit more. And finally also then, you also have this little icon, this lineage graph. So when you open it, you can see how the data flows between these different objects. So you can see you have a raw customer here, you have raw orders, raw payments, staging customers, staging orders, staging payments. And down here, you have some additional stuff you can do. So for example, these pluses and minuses here, you can kind of limit it whether you want to go downstream or upstream, etc. So for example, if I don't want to see the staging orders here, I can simply, under the exclude, I can say, exclude that guy and update the graph. And notice now it's gone. So that we can manipulate this, and we'll look more into this in a later video. So anyways, I just want to give you the startup, and that's how you set up your VS Jaffle Shop project in VS Code. If you like these videos, give me a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel. It'd be fantastic. I'll see you in the next video.